Hi, this instructional video will guide you through the process of commissioning your system with the Kaco Ultra phone app. The system under test today has two strings, one with 10 inverters and the other with 12. Once you've turned on your system, make sure to wait about 10 to 15 seconds so that your Tigo Cloud Connect unit has an active Wi-Fi network. Let's go ahead and click that phone app right now. Once it opens up, you'll see there's two sections to fill in your username and your login. But before we do this, make sure that you have a working internet connection on your phone. Now, this can either be through the homeowner's Wi-Fi or it could be the data on your phone itself. Use the login details from your website registration of your account and click on Login. This page has two tabs called Monitoring and Installation. Clicking on Monitoring will take you to a list of your existing systems which have already been installed. To go to the previous page, click on the back button at the top left corner of the screen. Please be very careful not to hit the back button on your phone, but to hit the back button on the screen. Once you hit back, it will take you to the previous page. Click on Installation, and at the bottom of the page, click on Create New System. On the next page, type in the name of your system. For this test, I'm calling my system Test 723B. Type that in and click on Create. This generates a system ID, and it's strongly recommended to store the system ID somewhere on paper or on your phone so you have a recollection of it if you want to come back to it later. You can also check that the address matches whatever you have filled in. Remembering the system ID is crucial so you don't create duplicates to the same system. Creating duplicates could lead to potential issues when it comes to the online monitoring portal. Click on Continue to the next page. This next page guides you on how to connect your phone or tablet to your Tigo unit's Wi-Fi network. Step 1 is to enable the Wi-Fi capabilities on your mobile device. The next thing we're going to do is search for available Wi-Fi networks, and we look for a Wi-Fi network which is called SM followed by a bunch of numbers and alphabets. So drag and drop that menu and search for your network which basically starts with SM. Mine is 723B, so I click on it and wait until a successful connection is established. And there it is. We can now go back to our app. And if you notice on the top bar, you'll notice the Wi-Fi symbol with a little box underneath, which means that the Tigo unit is now connected to our phone device. Click on Connect and move to the next page, which says Ultraverter and Network Settings. To give you a little bit of detail, clicking on the Ultraverter tab will lead you to a page which tells you to input details about your system configuration, such as the number of blades and the number of inverters connected to each blade. The Network Settings tab allows you to connect your Tigo Cloud Connect device to a working internet connection. So before we start our commissioning process, let's go ahead and click on Network Settings to make sure that our Tigo device has internet. On this page, we click on Wireless to scan through all the networks that are available. In my case, I have a network called Empower Guest, to which I'm connecting my Tigo device. In your case, it could be either a portable hotspot that you're carrying for Wi-Fi, or it could be the homeowner's internet too. You can keep refreshing that page as many times as you want by simply clicking on the wireless button again and again. You may see multiple Wi-Fi networks floating around, but click on the Wi-Fi network that is the most stable connection. Enter your password for the stable connection and click on Connect. To confirm that we have indeed established a working wireless connection on our Tigo device, let's go ahead and click on the Test Connection button and run a little network test, which will then tell us if our connection was a successful one or if it failed. You'll probably spend a minute on this page since the network tests run through a bunch of other tests, which will ultimately lead up to tell you whether it was a successful connection or not. This page will also tell you which network you're connected to. So in my case, it happens to be the Empower_Guest1. It tells me what my wireless signal strength is. It also tells me the IP address of my Tigo Cloud device. Once you see a success at the bottom as the result, you can go back to the previous page. Once again, be careful to hit the back button on the screen on the left-hand corner and not the back button on your phone. We're back on the network page. Click back, click Ultraverter. And on this page, type in the number of Ultra blades that you have. In my case, it's 2, and I have 10 and 12, which is 22. The drop-down list basically allows you to select between regions. By default, it's set at US region, which is US IEEE 1547. Select that and click on Start Commissioning. The discovery process then starts, and it takes about a few minutes, ranging from about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to about 5, depending on the number of inverters that you have installed. The screen also constantly keeps updating with the percentage of completion of the process. It now moves on to tell you that 2 Ultra blades have been discovered, and they're both in the idle state. So everything that you see in the brackets refers to the state of that particular Ultra blade. Now that the Ultra blades have been discovered, it moves on to the discovery of the Ultraverters. It's detected 12 inverters on blade A and 10 inverters on blade B. So blade A now moves to the wait for commissioning finalization state, and so does blade B. Click on Finish Commissioning, and we will now watch the state of the system continuously change. The bottom button, Refresh System Status, can be clicked multiple times to query the system, and this is a manual process, since it is not updated automatically. A word of caution. Be careful not to click on the Restart Commissioning button during this process, because that would stop the system. You can see plus signs next to each of those blades, and by clicking on that, you can see the list of inverters that are connected to each blade. Take a moment to go through this list, as it tells you your inverter serial numbers and your blade serial number. Also, the second line on this page, which says ID, and one next to it, refers to your blade Modbus address, which you set initially on your blade. This list also highlights the current state of your blade and inverters, which is mentioned in the brackets. You can do the same thing to see the list on blade B and the inverters connected to it. Once again, we click on the Refresh System Status button to see the current state of the system, and keep clicking on it until you see the state change of each of those blades. Currently, blade A is in the pre-grid connect state. It now moves into the ground impedance state. We hear some more relays clicking, and it moves to the pre-grid connect state again. Relays are closing, which is just prior to the inverter starting to run. Ultra blade pre-start checks are going through some prior checks just before the system goes into the running state. Click once again on Refresh System Status to see that the Ultra blade A is starting and that it's finally running. Click on the plus sign again to scroll through that list and see the state of all those inverters, which is now in the running state. Close it back, query the system again, and see the same process be followed for blade B. You can now see that blade B is running. Click on the plus, scroll through the list, see the state of the inverters in it. Click on Refresh and Query, and our system is now running with both blade A and B and all its inverters in the running state. This means that our system is now successfully commissioned. Of course, you can still play around with the app and go back in the pages to see what your system ID may be or your network settings. So let's click on that back button. Click on back button again, once again, and you see your system ID along with the address that you provided. Continue and connect. Click on Net Ultraverter to see the state of your system. Feel free to click the plus sign. Once again, see an updated version of the state of your system. Click on Back Network Settings. Check your connection and back. Now that we've come to the end of this commissioning process, the next step that happens is to make sure that your monitoring portal online is working and has updated information about your system. This information includes the DC and AC power of your system, energy production, if your Tigo unit still has a working internet connection or not, and the overall state of the system. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes from the time that the system is successfully commissioned till you see all of this data uploaded on the website. Our next video tutorial will brief you on how to navigate through the Tigo website to access system data.